tennis. We've all felt that. I'm going to start off with our pro example, and I'm going to give you a couple of different checkpoints to look for. First one is initial setup position, the rotation of the upper body, rotation of the hips, left arm coming across. We focused a lot on timing of the core rotating on the backhand, and that's definitely a critical part, aka kinetic chain being used efficiently. So the kind of benchmark that I like to look for is where the chest is facing at contact. And pretty much across the board with professional players, you'll see them at parallel to the baseline. It looks a little bit short here, but very close to parallel. By the way, these are all shots that he just walked onto the court. This is like a slow down the middle, like ground stroke rally. Now, something else that I want you to pay attention to that we'll be looking at is the position of Novak's arm and the position of his hand. We're going to look at it at contact and then shortly after contact. I chose Novak because he uses more of a bent arm, which is your pattern, and his grip is close to yours. I think he might be a little further than
Western,
you.
yeah.
You're both right around semi-Western.
Yeah.
You're right in the same ballpark. And so here, not fully extended like a Federer. There is a bend. It's just kind of a gentle bend. Definitely not 90 degrees. Now here, go ahead, show me your grip, show me contact point. If you were to open your thumb, where would it be pointing if you just fully extend your thumb? So yeah, at this point, Novak would be in the same spot with his thumb pointing upwards if you were to open his hand up. I want you to let me know when you think his thumb would be pointing downwards.
There.
So somewhere right around here. And so what we're looking at is the release of his hand, his forearm, and his shoulder to rotate the racket head over to the left side of his body.
Okay.
And so somewhere right in here is where his thumb is turned downwards.
Okay.
So if he were to open his whole palm, his palm would be facing down here. Mm-hmm. Whereas at contact, his palm would be facing upwards if he were to open up his hand. Yep. The word I like to use for that is release. There's kind of a buildup of energy as the kinetic chain works correctly, and then it gets transferred into the point of contact, and this is the final release of the racket head.
Okay.
As the energy builds up towards contact, meets the ball, it continues to dissipate, and if you allow it to just happen smoothly, it should happen kind of on its own without having to force it over. Mm-hmm. All right, so those are kind of our main benchmarks. Now,
dun, dun, dun.
Moment of truth. So here is the first forehand that I looked at of yours today. This is off a feed, totally stationary, which is why we're using it first. Just a very easy neutral ball. And just like with your backhand, you start off looking really solid, and you're in a good turn position. You're using your body well, and you unwind forwards towards the ball really strongly and athletically as well. And for me, this is probably the main reason why you like your forehand better. Your hips and your chest lead the way really nicely, and that's what makes it feel confident and strong, and that's what gives you the more powerful results. I want you to tell me what you see at contact. What does that look like to you?
Bad.
Why? What specifically?
Well, he certainly had his left hand higher, but I looked scrunched up a little bit.
Yep. And really similar to your backhand, you tend to be really tight in. And so Kevin and I initially, as we were looking at the side, we were like, I wonder if this is more, there's kind of two different spatial ways to get jammed. One is lateral, like arm is too close, the ball is too close to the body. And the other one is more vertical due to timing, waiting too long, and the ball kind of gets exactly, back. So we were wondering, well, I wonder which it is, which is why we grabbed the second iPad and we went back behind to check this out. And what we're looking for here is very similar. Remember how we looked at Murray's backhand? And he was extending his left arm and elbow out away from his body before contact to meet the ball. And there was like, we guessed about 6 inches or 8 inches or so. That's what we're looking for on the forehand side as well. But very similar to your backhand side, we've got like a little sliver of space between your elbow and your body. And that's just not, that's not enough space to allow your arm to fluidly move. This is the reason why you look scrunched up from the side, is because the ball is too close and tight into your body. The other elements from the side angle, what we're seeing a lot of is contact, and you're holding on to the racket. At this point, you remember where Novak was? Where he had reached the kind of palm down position, his racket was out in front of him still. So he made contact, he was kind of extending out towards contact. At that point, his palm was facing down, and then he continues across to the left side of his body. You're already on the left side of your body. So he's turned down by about this point, and your hand is still palm up. So what that means to me is a lot of tension, because the racket wants to continue to turn over in that direction. But you're hitting and holding that position with your hand. Truthfully, like some swings are a little bit more exaggerated than others. In fact, there's some where you actually do a pretty decent job of releasing the racket. But it's enough of a pattern that I think it's something that is worth working on and worth focusing on. I don't mind you hitting with a bent arm as long as it's appropriately bent. Like right now, you're on one far end of the spectrum. 90-degree bend is basically as bent as possible without it looking super awkward, and little to no space between your elbow and your body. So we're gonna start with that. You're gonna keep your same grip, keep your same setup, everything else, and we're gonna break this into 3 pieces. You're gonna start off by turning yourself to the side, just set up the way you normally do. And I'd love to see you initiate forwards with your body and your hips the way you are now. And then we're just gonna come out to a contact point where you're extended. And for the time being, I'm gonna have you go to the other end of the spectrum to just feel what it's like to create a lot of space between your side and your elbow, and a lot of room between your body and contact point. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Now, eventually, like when the ball starts getting introduced, I fully expect you to meet somewhere in the middle. Yep. And that's kind of my goal. So let's see you hit those 3 positions for me, and just take a 1-second pit stop at each one. Set up, body leads, and contact. Jeff, keep going. And now we're going to work on the release part of it. Okay. So the swing path here, the racket path is a circular path. And what we're looking for ideally is kind of equal parts extension with turning of the racket. So let me guide you through this one. Show me contact. And so we want the racket to go out as it turns over.
Okay.
And comes around.
I see it.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So kind of equal parts forwards and around. Yes, exactly. Okay, now go ahead and start to move all the way through the motion. Keep it slow, keep it relaxed, but make it one smooth motion now. Slow it down just a little bit, please. That was good execution, but I want you to be, physically very aware of what you're doing right now. That's a great speed. Good execution too. All right, so these are kind of our baseline. Like this is what we want from now on. Like this is going to be what we kind of check back with in terms of mechanics and racket path.
Yep. Okay.
So what we have now is a very smooth, fluid curve of the racket. There's no jagged edges, and you're giving yourself the room, the space at contact to allow this to happen. Great job. Yep. Let's see 3 more like that. 2 more like that. Then I'll drop you ball, and your goal is to do it exactly the same way. 1 more. Here you go. Same movement. Nice job. Nice job. Okay, so here's last shadow swing, arm extended at contact. Good smooth transition into releasing the racket. And here's the toss. Nice job, man.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see what happens with the follow through. Pretty good, pretty good. Nice job. You came back to a bend in your arm pretty quickly after contact. To me, that just kind of signifies a little bit of tension there, through the point of contact, which is totally to be expected. Really happy with the contact point. Lots of space to operate. Oh wow, it's scary. Look at that. What am I thinking about there?
He's saying to Kevin,
I don't.
one more swing like that, and I'm just playing.
Yeah,
Got it.
And now he goes into
This is
Jeffrey
your-
Dahmer mode.
looking into my soul right there. All right. All right, let's go back to work. Just everybody forget about that, please. Space and length. Space and length. Here you go. Good, great. Good job, Sean. Space and length. How's it feeling?
Good.
One more. Space and length. Good job. Here's your last two shadow swings. Your execution for me was pretty much the same. Like
That's pretty good.
That was really nice.
Extended.
That's amazing. And then length to follow through. And smooth release. Maybe it's possible you've hit a prettier looking forehand than this sometime in your career, but if I had to bet money, I'd say this is probably your best one ever. I mean, just the smoothness, the position at contact, the release of the racket, just calmly and smoothly without holding on to it or jerking it over. Like you just kind of met it perfectly in the middle.
And that one I had about 75% less my normal tension, I'd say.
Good. All right, let's keep going. All right, pretty good, Sean. Nice job. A couple shadow swings. One more. Then Megan will toss to you. Nice job. Here's your last shadow swing. Great position there. A little bit short, yeah. Great position, just off center hit.
Yeah.
Let's see if you kept it smooth. Awesome, that's really nice, man. Great job. If we can bottle that and just make that your new forehand swing, we're gonna be at a totally different place. Just for perspective, please know that it's very possible to execute all of this within the context of, this is Azarenka. She started from 2 feet behind the baseline. It's a ball that is high, deep, well hit. She's completely leaving the court, but still nailing contact point.
Yeah.
This is what makes the pros special. They don't have to be
And a rally.
back foot behind the ball, step in, and like they don't have to do all that. They can be doing anything and still line their body up in a powerful, fluid way.
Yeah.
And so it's good for you to make a connection between like, okay, when I do this, everything else like lines up, but just know that ultimately our goal is to be able to execute how your
any
body,
position.
exactly,
Yeah.
right. Halfway between service line and the baseline. Same execution. You don't need any more effort than what you were just using.
Right.
Plus, Megan's now hitting you the ball, so there's more energy.
Coming, yeah.
Exactly. So if you just redirect with the same total looseness, you have no problem hitting the ball back. Not that it's even our goal right now.
Yep.
I just want you to focus on the execution.
Yep.
Great job, Sean. Pretty happy with those. I'm not sure I can ask for a whole lot more than these. You brought up the tempo a little bit, But I think your execution on all three was pretty solid. Looks nice, huh?
Yeah, it looks good.
That's
Yeah.
great. Great job. Let's see a couple of slow shadow swings, please, Sean, where your racket doesn't drop any lower than chest height and then come forwards to contact. So just kind of simulate a shoulder high contact. Yep. Same smooth release. Yep. All the rest of the framework is the same. Yep. Good job, good job. That's it. What did that feel like?
I'm not sure.
Yeah?
I can't tell on my body there whether
Okay,
I'm,
all right.
to what extent I'm getting out.
I'm really happy with what I saw. I'd be surprised if any of these honestly look
Contact points a little farther behind me.
a little bit. Love the space though, between your elbow and your body. You gave yourself plenty, you can see here how you've got room between your elbow and your body.
Yep.
So that makes it possible for us to meet it in a comfortable spot. Depth is all about timing. So it's just a matter of starting the swing a little bit sooner. That's great. Could maybe be a little further in front, but
Yeah.
that's like A-. I mean,
Okay.
that's really solid. I'm just gonna play through a couple. You were pretty consistent on these, honestly. Like none of them really stood out to me as being,
This is not a ball I could hit before, really.
great job.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna add some movement into this.
Okay.
You're gonna start in the middle, and you're gonna make 3 shadow swings, moving out to your right, setting up and practicing your swing with the same mechanics we've been working on, and then recovering back again. Yep, and now 3 feeds. Nice job, Sean. I think you came pretty close to nailing this. First time on the move.
On the front.
It's pretty solid for mid stride. Jeez. Let's go have a drink. You kept that pretty smooth too. Great job, man. It's a pretty ridiculous change between on the run and stationary off an easy feed.
Good job. It's awesome.
Great job, great job. Yep. Good job, good job.
Yep, that's what I
Awesome.
want.
Yep. That's like the A+
Let's
position.
wait, follow through. All good.
Oh yeah, nice job.